Hello, my name is Melanie Favorlick, and this is my lifestyle project on energy. To start this project, I had to find an energy consumer that I use and can monitor daily. The energy consumer that I chose was my vehicle. I chose this because I use it every day, and it is something that I never think twice about using. I drive a 2017 Dodge Durango that gets 17 miles to the gallon in town. Yes, I know, probably the worst car for the environment, but it is the most suitable car for my family and lifestyle. The good thing about this, though, is that I do live in a small town and don't drive many miles during the week. For my family of four, our busiest day is Tuesday. This is the day we have the most activities and the most driving around to do. Between myself and two children, we have work, school, basketball, gate, and church activities. So to demonstrate how much driving this is, I used Tuesday for my baseline example. So Tuesday morning, I dropped my children off at school, then came home to get ready for work. I drove to work and back home after. Then the driving fun begins. First, there was pickup from school, then drop off and pick up for gate, then drop off and pick up for basketball, and lastly, there's drop off for church activities. Both of our children go to two different locations for these activities, but we do arrange for carpool with other parents for the drive home. This is the typical Tuesday afternoon. As you can see in this graph, Tuesday I drove 24.7 miles and used 50.1 kilowatt hours of energy. On Wednesday, I drove approximately 8.7 miles and used 16.7 kilowatt hours of energy, which included dropping off the kids at school and to and from work. In these 2 days, my average energy usage was 58.45 kilowatt hours. After documenting these 2 busy days, I realized how much driving I had done. There are many times in which I could have found alternatives to driving, but with the colder weather approaching, my driving always increases. My children do not want to ride the bus to school in the mornings, and I find I prefer not to walk to work. My alternatives to the lifestyle change for the next 2 days were to bundle up and push ourselves to walk instead of drive. So for Thursday and Friday, that is what we did. Luckily for us, the weather was warmer and it wasn't so bad. On Thursday, I drove a total of 5 miles, which was to pick up my children from basketball after school. We planned ahead for them to take their basketball gear with them to school and just wait until it started. Then I picked them up when it was over. So that day, I used 11.13 kilowatt hours of energy. Lastly, on Friday we did the same changes, but the difference in miles was our trip to the grocery store after work. The store is 3 miles from our house, and since I buy food for the entire next week, it's not feasible for me to find any alternatives for this driving. My total miles for this day was 11, and I used 20.88 kilowatt hours of energy. By walking instead of driving, I was able to reduce the emissions that my vehicle produces. The gasoline that my vehicle uses is a non-renewable fossil fuel that damages the environment. More fossil fuel emissions contribute to the main cause of global warming. So for this project, economically, the more that I walked, the less that I spent on gasoline, which saved me money. Socially, as I walked to work, I was able to take more time to appreciate the outdoors and watch as each day the leaves began to turn. Walking to work in the mornings also gave me more time to think without any distractions. Environmentally, this change created less emissions coming from my own personal vehicle, which felt good. I believe that this is a lifestyle that I can sustain, if weather permitting. But if I just stop and think about alternatives to driving, it's pretty easy, all while reducing my own emissions and helping save the environment. Thanks for watching this lifestyle project video on energy.